here with Shelley Marie, our very own Shelley Marie, who's our in-house resident artist. We're very blessed to have her on staff here, and she's our secret weapon, I guess you could say. Shelley's the one that was, it was the brainchild of her for the whole Reborn Effects system, the air dry system. Many years ago, and I know you've all heard this story, she said, you know, it would be really nice to have an air dry paint system that would coordinate with the same as the way Genesis works with all the flesh colors, etc. And I said, why don't you just do it? So it took about 3 years or so, and she came up with it. So anyway, as you all know, we have a problem out there in the doll making world, and that is that Genesis is planning on closing, shutting everything up. And so we're kind of planning, I guess, in stages, right, Shell? Mm-hmm. So the one thing that we're experiencing here as a business, as far as the Genesis goes, we have a lot of the color here, but we don't have the mediums. We don't have the thinning medium. We don't have the thick.
And we'll be getting the
matte
new
varnish.
The new formula will be coming in
We
soon,
have a new formula shipment coming, but you know what? We've sort of gone, oh, let's do something. So Shelley went to work. She's actually been kind of piddling around for the last couple of years, you know, since Genesis has given us issues with getting product, and we talked about it. Mm-hmm. And then we decided when they seemed to be coming back, we thought, oh well, let's just put that on the shelf. So anyway, so she scrambled, and she has come up with an amazing formula. I'm just thrilled as can be, and she's going to show you some things here with both Genesis and air dry. We're calling it the Shelley Marie Heat Set Agent. Shelley Marie, named after our own, Heat Set Agent. And what it does is it mixes in with either your original formula Genesis or your new formula Genesis. It mixes just as well. Mm-hmm. And she's also discovered that she can flip we've got the sample of our one of our Reborn Effects air dry here. We haven't even got a label on it, but she wants it without the polymer added. Mm-hmm. So this is just the straight color. Pigment, thank you. And then this is a straight color with golden brand, and we also have a alcohol ink. So she's discovered that this agent will work with any of these products for you and flip it into a heat set formula. We know that Genesis is, but this will. So anyway, mm-hmm. So you explain and show the folks how it blends.
Well, the best way to explain things is to basically give you a quick demonstration. I have been working with the Genesis here. This is a doll that I started. Why would you use this into the Genesis? It's a very nice creamy formula that replaces your thinning medium, basically. It's matte as well, but it's not meant to be as a varnish, so don't get that. It's meant to be mixed in with the system to give you a nice matte finish and buttery consistency for when you're painting.
So just to interrupt you, we don't want to call it a thinning medium.
No.
That's why we're calling it an agent.
That's right.
But it's sort of like your idea with mixing your polymer then into your
It's
other
a binder.
paints.
It's a binder.
Okay.
It's an agent, a binder. It has properties in it that can also convert your full pigment, quality pigment acrylics. It will not work with craft acrylics at this point.
Right.
And right now I've only been mixing it with the golden. It probably will do the same with latex.
And with your Reborn
not
Effects.
latex, I'm sorry, Liquitex. Liquitex brand is very similar to golden, and we're going to give you a pigment. It's not going to be as extensive as what the Reborn FX is out there, but it will be available as well. Right. So if you like some of our pre-mixed colors, you can make it into a heat set. People will say, why do I want to mix this into and make it a heat set? People like the way that it doesn't dry until you're ready to cure it. Right. So that's the whole advantage of the system, is that you've got more time to play and blend until you get your blending, whatever you want to do with your doll before you heat set.
So this solution here is just going to be phenomenal for people who are worried about how do I change from my Genesis program into my air dry. You can interact this.
That's
right. You're not going to mix the Genesis
Don't
with this.
Don't mix the Genesis with it.
But you can mix this with any of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will have people ask me, well, how can you put air dry into an oil base? This is solvent air based medium. I'm going to show you how the solvent goes in. Do not add water to it. The acrylic works with this because this has got a lot of air binder in it, and it allows enough bubbles in it that the acrylics can air dry very easily in the heat environment. And the only thing you have to make sure is whatever you're trying with it is able to go into the heat and not change color. Okay. So that's why I'm only recommending right now our old system.
So let's talk about the Genesis first. I know that you're really super excited about this. I know you are, because you were jumping up and down about it. But what I'm interested in for our doll artists that are really lamenting over Genesis closing down, and we've purposefully chosen for you guys a jar of the new Genesis formula and a jar of the original Genesis formula. So you can see it works the same with both.
Okay, so basically with this system, you can add as much Genesis as you want. This is the new formula. So I'm just going to take some of the new formula here. I'm going to take a good chunk of it. I'm going to put it in. And then I'm going to add, I want it to...
Sorry, I should have that ready.
Yeah. I'm going to add about half and half for you just right now, because I want to see how it goes into a nice buttery consistency by mixing it in.
Beautiful.
Okay, so it's going to make it a little bit more transparent.
Right.
And it's very, see how soupy it becomes? So if I want it more soupy and more transparent, I'm just going to add more of this.
And I noticed you've got a ball in there. Is that, you got it, do they have
yes,
to shake
I've done
or?
that. Yeah, with most things you do have to shake. So there's going to be probably a marble is what we use. And, so that it shakes up. And you see how nice and buttery it is.
And that's this is the new formula, guys.
This is the new formula. There's no stickiness to it like the new formula is coming out pretty sticky. That's pretty solid still right now for my liking, but it's good enough to show you on the camera. And then you can sponge it on as you normally would, okay? If you want it thin like a wash, baby, you're getting in my way here.
Okay. Is that odorless solvent?
This is odorless solvent. This is, what do we have? Our mineral spirits.
Museum brand is what we have. But so any of your odorless solvents.
Threw a whole bunch of it in there. You can see how the solvent mixes it up. And now it's like water. Okay, so there's your wash. So there's your system right there. You can put your wash on there the way you want. Take a sponge. And it goes on quite nicely. Okay.
Beautiful.
So that's your new formula.
And does it sorry to interrupt you. So this will heat set at the same temperature because you're adding your Shelley Marie solution.
This heats at 265
Got it.
to 270. You can get it up to 270 if you would like. And I do it for 9 minutes. I always put my Genesis in for 9 minutes. So that's just a roundabout number I use.
But the new formula is curing and setting up quicker.
Oh, yes.
But with this, it doesn't matter. Okay.
The other thing I should also mention is this is not tried with the Genesis mediums. There's no reason why to add this to the mediums. No. This is meant for your paints.
Your colors.
And your colors.
It's to really replace the kind of like, I guess, the thinning medium.
Yeah, it is like a thinner.
And would it replace
people, when they
else?
want their paint thinned down, sometimes don't want it a watery effect. They want to have a little bit of a smoothness like cream. It doesn't drip all over the place when it's smooth like cream. And that's why it works. This is the old stuff, just to show you that it mixes in fine.
Yeah. Sure.
So I'm not going to do much more. I can swat it on here just to show you there's no separation. That's a chunk of paint that I didn't stir in.
Shame on you. Okay.
Yeah, it's live video. What can I do?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So that mixes all quite fine. Okay. Now what I want to quickly show you, because we just want to be real fast, is I have got some of this medium in here. Yeah, I just got to look. I haven't got my glasses on.
We don't do the solvent when it comes to these. Okay.
No.
So I'll put this away.
Yeah, you can use the solvent.
You can use the solvent for your air dry?
Yeah. It binds it. It's fine.
Oh!
Okay, so rubbing alcohol.
Okay, what do I know?
Alcohol inks. Okay. All right. Alcohol inks, I found you can pretty well add as much as you want in there. You have to add quite a bit of it if you want. I want another brush. There's your alcohol ink. To get the pigment to come through, because alcohol inks, that's a nice fluorescent. What did I get?
Cool.
Great for the fantasy people. Eh?
Wow.
So that's the fluorescent. You can see all that's happening is I've got some pigment coming to the top there, and you just stir it in.
Okay.
But it goes on fine too. You see how nice and fluorescent that is. This all heat sets then. Be easy on your pouncing. You see how the alcohol inks, the ink is very transparent.
Transparent, sure.
So you have to work with that.
Okay, so now let's do ours or golden first.
I'll do golden because I can drop it.
All right.
Now I'm going to use another pot for that one. Okay, so this is golden fluid acrylics, okay? Pure pigment, or it's very nice pigment. With this, I'm going to tell you not to go over a 1:20 ratio. I know what's in there, so I'm just going to put 3 drops in there.
Okay.
Can you get a kind of a close-up there, Sarah? Because I want to show them what's going to happen here.
Can you see it? Mm-hmm. Good.
Can you? Okay. So with this, the first time you stir it, it's going to look like it doesn't work. You just keep stirring it because the binders in there are going to cover all that wonderful acrylic pigment.
Wow.
And you'll see how nice and smooth it is. There's no lumps, no chunks. See?
Beautiful.
And it works quite well. And it heat sets. This will not air dry, guys. I'm going to be coming out later with a video to tell you a little more about how to work with the acrylic system, because there are a little bit of differences if you do decide to work with it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to go into that detail on this video because this video is going to just be a little
getting
teaser.
Too long. Sure.
Yep. Yeah. And you can see how it pounces in there just the same as your Genesis. So that is your acrylics, and this is our Reborn FX pigment. One more
Another brush.
This has a little bit of the alcohol ink. I just don't want to get it mixed in. With this, the same thing. It's about a 1:20. This is blue, so it's quite pigmented. And you'll see it just takes a little more stirring. Just a little more stirring, but it will get there. And once it's all covered, it will be fine, ready to go.
Beautiful.
If you don't stir it up enough, this is what I mean. I'm going to probably do a video on this. If you don't stir this up enough, you will have the air dry coming to the top and air drying on you before you get a heat set on it.
So you want to make sure it doesn't want to air dry.
That's right. Or you want to make sure it's mixed so it doesn't. Once it's mixed, you've got that protection around that pigment.
Cool.
So there you go. There's your blue. Pounce it just the same as your Genesis, and all of this will heat set.
So back again to what we talked about a long time ago, and I won't be too much longer. So people who have the Genesis system and air dry system can intermix this as far as layers.
Yes.
So they can do this same formula.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
a multimedia.
The Shelley Marie Heat Set Agent.
It's a multimedia agent.
Multimedia agent. I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
So what you're doing is you're saving them a heck of a lot of money.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be heat set. Lots of people are coming out with heat set products. They're home remedies, or they could be. I mean, there's other companies that are coming up with it. All the power to them. We're not knocking it. All we're saying is this will solve a lot of problems for you in the meantime until you discover which system you like the best.
Yeah.
So thank you, Shelley.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Hi. So we're quickly back here. I went and heat set our sample and wanted to show you the results here as a quick demo. This over here was the, I have to remember what I had done on the video. The other thing, I will be honest with you, I put a second layer of all these colors on top because it wasn't, it wasn't showing up on the camera as well, and I wanted you to see it. So down here I know was the Reborn FX pigment. And if you take a feel of it, it feels just like part of the plastic.
Don't mind my nails. No, I need to get my nails done.
But it feels like it's part of the vinyl, actually. Right. It's merged right in there, and yes, you can remove it. We've did that test as well. We use the Winsor Newton brush and cleaner. Everybody uses that. That's our test with that one. But anyways, let's get on. So I'm going to take this paint palette, and we're just going to scrape it across. I don't know if the camera will pick up that sound or not, but you can see. I can hear it. Yeah, you can see that there's pressure there.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not coming off there. This is the alcohol inks. The alcohol ink, you will notice, will have a bit of a shine because alcohol inks are shiny. Now, this stuff will matte down whatever you're using. However, if there's a high shine, it's not going to be as matte as what you want.
So the Shelley Marie Heat Set Agent is matte.
It is matte
Okay.
itself. So,
Okay, good.
Yeah. If you remember, we put a lot of that alcohol ink in there. So
Yeah.
it did the shine. That's why.
Because it's very transparent.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So this over here was the golden that we used. And you can see it's not coming out.
So this was air dry, this was air dry, this is
that's
alcohol ink, and these are
inks.
Genesis new and old formula.
Yeah, and those are the new and old, and you can see how, like I'm pressing because this knife is even going back and forth, and it's not coming off whatsoever.
Sure.
Okay, so the other test people always want to do is, of course, to use the solvent on top and see if there's any residue here. So I'll start with over here with the golden product first and give it a good rub. And as you can see, there's nothing on there.
Excellent.
Do the same with the
Reborn
over
Effects.
here, Reborn Effects. There's nothing there.
Okay.
There's the alcohol
Alcohol
inks. You can see how hard you can
Yeah.
hear it rub.
Yeah.
And then, as I said, I don't expect I've got enough ink
Genesis.
over. Yeah, the Genesis over here. I'm just going to do both of these.
And once again, while you're doing this test, it doesn't matter with your formula, the Shelley Marie agent, heat set agent, it doesn't matter if it's Genesis old formula or new.
No, both of them work with it fine. It doesn't
And
gel
so
up
if
or
it's
do
the new
anything.
formula, which we found out is curing sooner at 180, I believe, isn't that correct? So it's curing at 180. When you add your formula to that, it boosts it back to the 265 mark.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
The agent that you're putting in takes over all of this system.
Right.
It is the master of what it's going to heat set at.
Yeah. So that didn't come off either.
Oh, sorry. No, there's nothing on there. I've been rubbing.
Sorry, I
it.
interrupted. I interrupted your demo.
Oh, sorry.
But this is a really cool solution for folks right now that are struggling with finding the mediums that they can get to use. Now we will bring up Kabelka. We had that in stock, and and once we're out, we're out.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, Shelley has come up with this additive or agent that you can use. Multimedia, just simply, of course, as you all know, would mean air dry, heat set. So that's some of your air dry paints. We can't promise for all of them, but we can for the golden and for the Reborn Effects. We know it works. And by all means, test it with whatever acrylics you have at home, right?
Yeah.
As long as it's not watered down with your polymer.
That's right. And remember
with
that
water.
it is not water. It has to have a solvent in it to make it thinner. So we use the mineral spirits in
So
the agent.
the regular odorless solvent to thin it down. Okay.
Okay, so that gives you a quick little demo. There will be more advanced demos out there once we get the system out. We just wanted to give you a little teaser to kind of show you what we're doing. The other thing we didn't mention, what makes this product good is it will have a UV protectant in it.
Right.
So you will be having a
That
fade
is
resistant.
huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Yes, because you don't want your colors to fade. You want it to be archival,
Yes.
and that's very important to you.
Yes,
So,
it is to me.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's awesome.
Okay,
Good.
thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.